Welcome back to Factorio MSX Gigabase. All that really means is that we have ramped up SpaceX to a ridiculous degree so that we need a massive Gigabase to do it. Even more ridiculous than the last time we did it with marathon tech prices across the board. Okay, so since last time, I think I'm now sitting at module the module 3 area, speed module 3. There, as you can see, they're busy manufacturing. In fact, if we have a look at production, we are doing 33 speed module 3s a minute, which is not bad since we don't have any modules installed in our factory anywhere. That would probably mean that production modules have finally ceased activity. Yes, it looks like they have. I changed this actually back to 8,000 because since we're adding 2 in here, we're potentially creating a demand for 2 trains. So at one full 383 being 16,000, I basically want, when we've got another full 383, to cut it off. So I actually want a minus 2p, not a minus 1. So I changed this back to a divisor by minus 8,000 to do that. So yes, it stopped being supplied and it's closed down. So where to from now? Well, obviously we're going to implement these modules at the earliest convenience. It looks like we have about 50 modules or so in each of these, which in actual fact means that, let's just quickly do some math. What is it? 57 multiplied by, there would be 6 of these by 8, 48. We've actually got over 2,000 speed modules already, which in fact is enough for me to implement the speed modules, but here's the catch. For starters, we're really close to our power cap, so we need to quickly lay down a little bit more nuclear. And 2, that hit 2.7 gigawatts, which is a fairly large consumption for a non-moduled factory. The other issue is if we look at oil, these, I don't know, they're not dry, but they run out really fast, even without, well, modules would actually help this. They'd help the throughput be massively higher, but I have noticed some plastic issues as a consequence of insufficient oil, because as it happens at the moment, there's actually only one oil train, one oil stop and one oil train. It is running on, well, we're using the mod Make Barrels Great Again, which means that these are still the 75,000 capacity, not the 25,000 capacity. And so the whole thing is 600,000 capacity for a single train. But one train is not enough. Now, if you look around our initial base, there's very, very little, and there's minute little things like this, which is why I actually ended up putting in a whole lot of coal liquefaction instead of relying solely on oil processing, because I couldn't find any oil. However, now, if we go up here, there's some here, there's some over here. And I actually did a little bit of exploring between episodes down here, just kind of work out how far and where I want to take these lines. I mean, if I keep going, I'll smack into that, so I'll probably turn about there, and then bring this line across so it can connect up with this one. And that will define our sort of initial starting area. I don't really want to run through that one either, but maybe we can drain it off before we get to that point. I've laid down a bit more landfill, and yeah, so that's where we're at. So I basically need to either... Oh, I need to increase power. We can't put modules in until we've increased power. It does look like we could insert modules now. I do know that there does seem to be insufficient plastic getting through to these stops. This one's not doing too badly, which is partly due to the lack of oil, so we need to increase oil. I did find down here a bunch of decent oil, but and more down here, some really good patches. I am of the opinion that this oil is kind of a copy of the one in the last Gigabase, but that was only designed for about two launches per minute, because we didn't need as much space science, and really because the components are so incredibly expensive, it's pretty hard to push the rate at which we are, sending rockets up when we're launching the SpaceX components. But in this we need a lot more SpaceX components, so we need a lot more space science rather. We need a lot more space science, we need a lot more launches to support it. So I'm going to need a lot more oil, particularly the rocket fuel. So I'm kind of thinking that I will build a second oil here, and I'll do a different design when I get to it. So these oil patches I don't want to tap. It's a long way of saying I don't want to tap these oil patches, especially well, that one maybe. In fact, that actually might be the easiest oil to tap, because then it can just go straight up here. Maybe I'll quickly tap that oil, and then we'll try and add some more nuclear, and probably the episode after that we can actually start putting modules in, and we will start with green, because we are constantly green with the odd red, but red is partly because it's held up because of green circuits. So with that said, where am I at the moment? I'm over here, okay, and I've got the engineering train. What I'm going to do is I will run up to the engineering train, and we will put a different loadout into the engineering train. We'll go for our we'll go to engineering unload. We'll put in the oil outpost setup. For just a minor setup, I don't tend to set up a supply stop. What did I set up over at the first oil stop? I didn't set up any. I just sort of left it alone. There's not even an engineering stop. And I'll probably do something pretty similar over here. I already have an engineering stop here. That will be fine. And then we'll just tap this. What's that? Is that very much? 5,000. And what's that? 4,000. I could even combine those and make two oils, perhaps. Yeah, you can wait for us. So yeah, I have one of my specializations for the engineering train, which is a oil outpost loadout, and that's what we will put in. If I'd thought ahead, I probably should have done that in the last episode instead of the generic loadout that we have. But this won't take too long. So I've got about 4 loadouts here. That's just bots, of course. I think that's not the oil. That one's the oil. So we will engage that one. And with a bit of luck, it won't take particularly long. What I might do while I'm here is just check how many reactors we have. 10. Okay. Is that because that's all we're building? Or because we're out of concrete? Let's just check that quickly. That's all we're building. Alright, let's increase the number of reactors to 12. So we'll need 12. What I'm thinking when I enlarge the nuclear is that we won't go one step, which would just be 6 reactors. We'll go 2 steps. So we'll go from a capability at the moment, which is more or less 3 gigawatts from this setup. We'll take it up to about 5. And of course the coal will become less and less relevant. It's really just there to help burn out our coal supply and help burn out the coal and wood disposal when the rubbish train needs it. So if we mouse over this, we can see the loadout counting down. At the moment it's the rail that's getting loaded up. Time for a quick drink. And is it going to do the last bits, or is it decided that's it? Oh, we may actually be a bit low on rocket fuel. Not quite sure why I'm insisting on rocket fuel. Do I need radars? Do I have any on me? I've only got 3. Maybe if I order in some radars, just I don't need 50. 10 will do. If I order in some radars, that will be fine. I don't really need the rocket fuel. It was based on an earlier design before I had a nursery, but I'll come back here to create the train probably. There we go. I think we're good. So if we go back to the map and head out to #copper7, that's close enough to this one. Yeah, let's just get going. And I don't actually have that already sitting there, so #copper7. This is what I want, isn't it? Yeah. Off we go. Now, that's not the one. Somewhere I have a blueprint. That's probably the one. Go to the map view. We're basically going to want to put something like this down. Might even lay it down already. And then we'll, there we go, we'll connect up in here. Yes, this thing is working very hard now, which is good. We will need some tanks. We will need pump jacks, a little bit of that, some of those. Let's refuel those. Get a bit of track. We need, pretty sure I put those into the train. It did, good. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to extend this by 4 more at each end, and we are going to need more pumps to do that. More pumps, more tanks. because that way it will have the exact 24 that's carried by our reverted to the original format fluid tanks. Ooh. That was a little bit close. It will have enough so that if it can, it will fill up with enough capacity so that a 383 will be able to full in its entirety from the stored resource. That's the idea. Now, I don't. If you just have tank-to-tank connection, I don't think it's the fastest at filling. I think it works a little bit better if you actually run pipe to support it. Ooh. Like so. And then all we need to do is throw in some pump jacks. Now this one is going to be a little bit messy. Just go off to the side with that one. So what I like to do to get the maximum throughput from these pipes is this is quite a large yield. 12,000. Well, it's moderate. It's not really that large. I mean, given that in my previous map I actually had a 60,000 yield, but 12,000 is pretty decent. If you put it all through one pipe, you're restricted in what all of these pump jacks can do, and especially when you put speed modules in them, what they're going to output is restricted by the capacity of that one pipe. Now, if instead you do a bunch of parallel connections, they're going to flow into the nearest tanks as soon as possible, so it reduces the reliance on the same stretch of pipe. Although in this case, that's not going to work. In this case, we actually have them all pretty much in a line, which is a bit of a nuisance. I often connect up in a really big patch the same line. Let's go out to about there. The same line ones to the same connection just makes it a little bit easier. But ideally you don't do that. This one can probably just go through like so, and this one we might as well bring up here. Like so, and there you go. We basically have a new oil. Now, this is going to be interesting because I probably haven't left myself enough room for the good rail. Do I have a 2-to-1 here? I'm not sure. And that's going to get boring pretty quick, so let's see. 2T. No, it doesn't actually look like I do. Unless we just do a 2T. And then just have it shrink down, which might be the way. That way we'll get the signals correct at both of these. And incidentally, if we needed the wires, they have connected up correctly as well. So want to do now is basically this. Okay, I'll be fine. So this is only for one train anyway. As such, I don't really mind that it, well, it does this. I don't really need any more signals here, in fact, since it is only for one train. All we do need, though, is some power. And at this point, I think we will go to a trusty substation. Throw another whoops, you guys can go down there. And there you have it. How fast are we filling up? These ones, not at all so far. A little bit slower than I'd like. Now, how much is this other? 5,000. It's sort of not really enough to get excited about, but if we combined it with 4,000... well, it would give us another oil train, wouldn't it? Alright. Let's do it. Is this where I got the oil from? Can't remember. No, I don't think so, because I'm going through everything again. It was one of... these, wasn't it? Or was it? No. Oh, there we go. Oil outpost. So it's not really going to matter which side this is on. I might just use this zoom tool. So that's where the other oil is. Alright, something like that then. Probably out of tanks, we are. And pumps as well, alright. And what about pump jacks? How many of those do we have? 12. We need some more of those as well. Let's just run back up to the engineering train. I should probably install another T-junction. Just so that we can get the engineering train a bit closer. Ooh. Jump on board, go to manual drive. This way. And that way again. Alright, I'll probably be blocking the traffic for a moment, but that's okay. Get rid of the silly trees. do I want one straight section? Or does that go too far? No, it doesn't go too far. It will certainly help us clear this path. And we can fix up this bit. But actually, before we do that, I might just grab the other bits that I want, which is that, some more of those, maybe a bit more pipe. Rail. So not a very spectacular, oh, I forgot the pumps. Not a very spectacular outpost, but it will nonetheless help us out for now. And in future I will expand to, as I said, there's one here that's decent, a couple here that are decent. They'll be the extras that supply here, although they're a little bit awkwardly placed. I mean, what am I going to do with this in terms of getting it over here? I don't really want another junction right here. I mean, you can see we already have congestion issues here, so it's probably going to have to run over here, connect up to this one. And these guys, I mean, they might wrap round like that. I don't really like that either, or come down here somewhere. Anyway, that's why I'm connecting up these. It's just a bit easier logistically. It's going to have to go for now, as is that, so that I can lay down these extra tanks. And I obviously should fix this blueprint in due course. Go. I guess it's not high priority because there's always something else. Let's just get rid of foliage. None of it's helpful. And come up here. Very condensed patch of oil. So the same sort of idea as what we've just done for those guys, and also where's this other one? Here it is. Let's just put that away for the moment. That I didn't actually need. I thought there was going to be more actual patches of oil for sure. Never mind. And we obviously are going to want power, something like that. While we're here, let's power that up. Power those guys up. And power those guys up. Now, just pipe connections and we will be done. Again, parallel for optimizing throughput, although with this sort of percentage it's really not that important. Wow, I've got a lot of pipes on me. And have we got? This one here. And this guy here. Of course, needs a little bit of normal pipe there. Now, these ones, let's see how this is going to work. I could actually have it just connect up here directly. I was going to put it up here and connect it, which actually I still will do, be a little bit tidier. Like so. These two will do the same thing. This guy can probably connect in at the end. Like this. And the other one can probably come up here, sort of. Now, if these oil patches had just been sort of, oops, I don't need that one, had just been by themselves without being able to sort of be combined like this, I guess I probably wouldn't have bothered, because we'll just drain them too fast. Sort of percentages that we're dealing with. Drain them down to a little nothing. As it is, they are going to drain fairly quickly. That doesn't work very well, let's not do that. That creates a loop in the pipe which can have issues, so we don't want to do that. Is that everyone connected? They're all pumping. What about these other guys? Are they all pumping? Yes, they are. So now all we need to do is connect up the rail. Oops. Oh well. There we go. Let's have some signals here. Not that we specially need them. That should all work now, I think. Don't think I actually need to signal off this bit. We do need to call it something meaningful though. What did we actually call the first oil outpost? Oil 1, okay. That would mean this one has to be oil 2. And this one over here has to be oil 3. And we'll head back here. We'll actually go into oil 3 for the moment. prove it works. Head back to engineering, where we will get rid of, whoops, I don't want that up there, I want it down. Get rid of some pump jacks, get rid of pumps. Engineering unload, right. And we will set up our additional oil trains, and then we'll probably have to call the episode, and we'll do nuclear in the next episode, and finally, in the one after that, I guess we will do implementing the speed modules into green circuits first, and then progressively roll it out as they become available. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. It will make our base that, you know, we're doing decent production. We're still constantly doing 24,000 green circuits a minute. This is being contained by oil, but it will pick up. And that's probably affecting our speed module production as well. Speed module 3's down to 16 a minute at the moment for some reason. Okay. Oh, what? Oh, it didn't finish last time. No, I don't want that. Go to engineering unload, thanks. I want you... I was going to do a stupid circle instead of just... Yeah, never mind. I've done that before, haven't I? Okay, so what I need to do is get some trains. Whoops, not 5. We need 6 of those, because we use 383s with oil as well. Even with our restored oil tankers, 8 of those. How are we going? We definitely have oil tankers. Yes, we do. Good, good. Come over here to the nursery. Now, you need to go to oil 2. Until inventory full. And then what is the oil called? Oil weight. Oil weight, so it just has to, okay, and then oil U. Alright, well, we'll force it to go to oil, oil weight for time past 0 seconds, and then oil unload until inventory empty. Copy that. It's full, so we can go to automatic, lay down another train. Copy that, but oil 2 is not what we want oil 3 now. Oil 3 till inventory full. Oil 2 can go away. Are we full? We are. Let's go, and that's it. So I guess that's probably all we've got time for. Nuclear in the next episode. Thanks for joining me. I look forward to seeing you then. Bye bye for now.